Join the Illinois Tollway at Contracting with Government, a roadmap for business opportunities. This event will be held on Friday, November 8th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the South Shore Cultural Center in Chicago. This is a great opportunity for small, diverse, and veteran-owned businesses to get the tools they need to succeed by connecting with experts on procurement from the Illinois Tollway and other state government agencies.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Intercepted, hosted by Kevin Byard, sponsored by Illinois Tollway. It's been a minute, it's been a while. Haven't recorded an episode since the London trip, so it's definitely great to be back here. I have a special guest with us today, my guy, Jaylon Jones, fellow DB.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you coming on the show. Like I said, it's been a while, man. Obviously, haven't shot an episode in a while. Let's kind of talk about the London trip because, like I said, I haven't done anything since London. How was your experience in London? Did you have family come out? Like, how was that for you?
Nah, I actually didn't. I got a daughter and a wife at home.
Right.
Daughter was 4 at the time. She's 5 months now.
Mm-hmm.
But I just went with the team, man. It was my
team.
first time in London. It was an experience, bro. Like,
I can only imagine.
you know what I'm saying? The food was definitely a shock. It was a culture shock. But overall, like, it was cool to be with the team or whatever. But it was definitely an adjustment. It was like the time change and stuff. Sure. Talking with family was kind of rough. But overall, like, it was cool because I ended up, getting the start and stuff. Yeah. So it was a good experience, and we got the win. So
Exactly. It's crazy. That was my 4th time being in London. I was in first time in London was 2018. I was with the Titans. We played the Chargers. I was there last year. We played the Ravens.
Yeah.
We lost both of those games, but it's crazy because we left later in the week versus early in the week. We left like on Friday. Well, we got there. We left Thursday night, got there Friday. And like you talk about, that time change was real.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we really got adjusted to it. It was kind of tough. But it's definitely a culture shock, though. I love London. I love I would just say, like, the melting pot of people that's out there.
Yeah, for sure.
You get a lot of different cultures out there. I think it's really cool. What was the biggest culture shock for you being out there?
Besides the food, well, the number one was the food.
Yeah.
100%.
But like, you didn't like it? Or was it good? Or like what?
I didn't like it. No disrespect, but nah, I didn't like it at all. It was, it was just different. But it makes sense because, nothing against America, but I didn't see many big people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all seem pretty healthy and
Right. Portions wasn't that big, huh?
Yeah, and height-wise too, like they seem more healthy or something. The food, I think that's what it was for me, at least. I think they don't season a lot of stuff or something. But maybe I should have hit you up, bro. And
I mean,
you've been there a lot, so I should.
Yeah, I've been there a lot. Honestly, like, I'm a huge fan of their Indian food. Like, I like Indian food.
See.
I like the spices. I didn't actually get into Indian food. I was out there though.
Oh, okay.
I feel like for me it was a little different for me. Like, I honestly stayed around the hotel a lot more than I normally would.
Yeah.
Like, my first couple times going out there, you wanna go to Harrods, Selfridge, do all the shopping.
Yeah.
At that point, I done did all that, so I was just like really trying to chill, trying to focus on some recovery, get some sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like being in London and really just being in Europe, period. The food difference, like, obviously they don't season as much as we do, but I feel like the food tastes different because, like, I don't know. I just feel like maybe it's not as many like GMOs and stuff like that. Like, I feel like the food tastes fresher. Like, the fish, the seafood, everything. It tastes better to me just from a freshness standpoint.
Yeah.
But obviously they're not going to be seasoning food the way we do. But like you said, you got your first start of the year. Obviously, Reek went down with an injury early in the week. I think Thursday or Friday practice.
Yeah.
How was that? You balled out that game too. I think you led the team until you had like 10 tackles. You was balling. How was that experience for you being out there getting your first start out there?
Man,
It wasn't your first time starting, period, but just this year.
Yeah, it was my first start for the 24 season. Man, I'm always just trying to stay ready for the moment. You never want to see, like, your teammate go down or whatever. But when Reek went down, I put it on myself. I didn't want it to be I didn't want to be a downfall to the defense. Mm-hmm. We're on a roll. We got the streak going on. So I was excited, bro. And the crazy thing that happened with that, how I looked at it, my daughter's name is London. So I thought it was just like, it was aligned perfect or whatever.
That's crazy.
And, overall, no, I felt good. I felt confident. Y'all boys kept me up, kept me feeling good or whatever. And it was a good day, bro.
Nah, for sure. That's crazy because I was speaking about it. I was like, because obviously at the end of the game, I was getting interviewed and they was kind of like, hey man, y'all had so many guys step up because Kyler went down. Obviously, Elijah had got his first start.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, first of all, we got a lot of guys that have been in the system already, even longer than me. And I was just like, there's no drop off when it comes to the standard and like how we want to play. So I'm like, we all had confidence that Jaylon, when he played, was gonna get in there and ball out. Black, Elijah, that's just the kind of guys that's the kind of room we got.
Right.
So that was pretty cool, man. So yeah, obviously, you know, then the bye week comes around. What did you do for the bye week?
Man, for the bye week, I went back home, Dallas, Texas for me. I say Dallas, but specifically, I'm in a city called Allen.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, kicked it with my family. My daughter got to meet some of her, for the first time, her uncles.
Oh, okay.
Got to see my dad. So it was just a good time. She got to see some faces on my side of your family.
Yeah.
And we just kicked it, man, in Texas. Got a little bit more warmer weather.
For sure.
And it was a good time, just laid back, did some PT. I had ended up getting a little banged up from that game, bro. So just laid back, chilled with family, and kicked it for a week.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, what was your recovery process like when you was back home?
Yeah, so since I was back home, it was perfect because I was with all my guys, all the people I've worked with before. But like I said, I had kind of banged up my knee a little bit, so I had some PT treatment going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, I wasn't even getting to sleep in how I wanted to because I had to attack this recovery to, make it for the week we come back. But overall, like, recovery and everything went smooth. Like I said, it was, I was back home, so I was just with the people I've worked with before, and it was just good to see family and everything.
Yeah, it's good you went back. I had, so I left Monday to go back to Tennessee, check on my house that's back in Nashville, and then I had, my school had honored me at the end of the first quarter because I had, I've already been inducted. It's not like a formal ceremony they're gonna have, but for Conference USA, been inducted to the Hall of Fame.
I saw you post that.
Yeah. I've been inducted to the Hall of Fame as the first defensive player, which is crazy. So that's like a huge honor. So my school honored me then. I appreciate it. So I pretty much went back there, but I came right back. I was in Chicago the whole time, honestly. My kids had school, so they already missed school on Tuesday, so I didn't want to miss them. I didn't want them to miss any more days of school.
Yeah.
Which is weird because our school, because of TV contracts, they had a football game Tuesday night. They've been having a football game Tuesday night like the past 2-3 weeks. I've never seen it before in college football, but it's Tuesday night. It's kind of like MAC. I think the MAC conference had like Wednesday night games or something like that.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's crazy. They play on Tuesday, so I got back here, and it was lucky because I was in the facility, so got some workouts in, did my recovery here, golfed, which was crazy to be golfing this late in the year. Golfed for a day with TJ, enjoyed that. So the bye week was good, man. Like I said, it was a good, kind of restart, refresh to kind of get our minds right.
Yeah.
But, obviously I would say the elephant in the room, we just had a game last night against the Commanders. I'm about to say Redskins, Commanders. Playoff-like atmosphere. I mean, the game was packed. I would just say that our Bears fans traveled like crazy. Behind our bench was packed. Like, we appreciate that. Our fans travel. We have, I think, the best fans in the league. It was a close game throughout. Defense, we played well. We forced 4 field goals. I think we blocked the field goal, too.
Yeah.
So we played well. Offense was able to get some stuff going towards the end of the game. And then, obviously the last drive, controversial, whatever you want to call it, lost on a HailMary. You were on the field during that play, right?
Yeah.
Let me hear from your perspective of or your angle, your viewpoint of what happened. Obviously, I'm going to say mine as well. So.
Man, my viewpoint is, so we got the call. The front line, the 4 DBs, Black, Jaylon, and Reek, we all had specific guys to get or whatever, whatnot. And so they're coming down the field, man, and, we're glued onto them, and it felt like we were covering them forever. You know what I'm saying? We're all scrapping.
Like 12, 13 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, so we're all scrapping or whatever, but staying on the dude. Ball goes in the air, boxing out my guy. And I just remember falling to the ground, bro, but I'm seeing... It felt
it's
fake,
like
bro.
Slow motion, bro.
I'm falling to the ground, but I see a black jersey, bro, by himself, standing in the end zone, and I see the ball in his hands, and like I'm hearing the crowd going crazy, and I'm just stuck.
Yeah.
Like people sent videos. I didn't know the camera had it on me and Black. We're just sitting there on the ground, like I'm trying to look at the jumbo, trying to see like what happened or whatever,
yeah.
overall, but it was crazy. I'm still kind of a little confused, but I'll never forget this.
Bro, it was unbelievable. Like, I ain't even gonna lie. Like, you know how we always say it's a 24-hour rule? I'm gonna need at least 36.
Man,
I ain't even gonna lie,
what?
because
For real.
it was, like you said, it was like we was covering forever. Because I'm the jumper, right? And it's like, for me, I was trying to be further back than everybody. I'm trying to be like 5 years. Because I'm thinking like, I need a running start, you know what I'm saying, to be able to get up and jump. And I just remember like, man, like, you moving to the left, moving to the right. Everybody's already in the end zone. Because normally when you practice it, guys are just running and the ball's being thrown while guys are kind of still running. By this point, everybody's like kind of in the end zone, jockeying for position. And I just remember when I tried to jump, like somebody was pushing me like from behind. So like, I ain't even really have a good angle to jump. Like if you, it's like they got a still shot of me jumping. I only got one hand up and I'm barely like jumping off the ground. And I just remember, cause I ain't gonna lie, I remember seeing Reek coming from the side and he jumped super high and tipped it up. Well, he tipped it. And I just remember doing this and seeing the dude catch the ball and like, I don't even know, like it was unbelievable. I couldn't even believe it happened. And I just remember looking around, seeing them storm the field. I was sitting on the bench with Maine for like 10, 20 minutes, just like looking around. I spoke to Marcus Mariota, who's, you know, my guy, came in with Tennessee for a while. He actually got my family some tickets for the game. I spoke to him. They didn't really speak to too much people. But like I was in shock. Going to the locker room, we all was in shock. It was so tough to even process. It's kind of still tough to process because we all know like there's never one play that defines a game. You know what I mean? Like, but to lose in that way, like I don't know if I'd rather got blown out than to lose that way.
Nah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Because the whole time on the sideline, we gonna win the game. Like when Swift scored the touchdown, you just felt it. Like,
you felt it.
The momentum, like we got it, bro. Even before like the drive that we, you know, drove down and they fumbled on the goal line. I'm on the sideline like, we about to score. We gonna get on defense, get a stop or a turnover, and we gonna end the game. He fumbled the ball. I remember running on the field. We on the sideline like, cause it took him a while to review it. I'm like, hey, don't worry about it. We about to get a 3 and out. We gonna get the ball. We gonna score again, and we scored. So we like, bro, like we felt like, and I know it's been, obviously you've been here longer than me, but you know, obviously Chicago got some memories of losing close games like that, or just like trying to take that next step as a team, and it just felt like this is the step we taking. You know what I'm saying? We taking the next step, and you know, to lose in that type of fashion was just like, it was crazy. And but even talking about that, like obviously the video that everybody see on social media of Reek, you know, kind of talking to fans and stuff like that, like, you know, he owned up to his mistakes, you know what I mean? Like he got in the team meeting, he got in front of the team and said, you know, he matured, you know what I mean? I respect him for going up there and saying that he apologized for his actions and things like that. He should have been locked in, boom, boom. Yeah, he was supposed to box his guy over, yeah, for sure. But our coach has said something, Coach Dre, our safety coach, said something that was really profound, that like was deep. And he was like, you know, if you have a child, and obviously you got a daughter, right? I got 3 kids. Your daughter grows older, she does something, or even at this age, she does something that you don't like, that you're disappointed in, like, that's still your child, you know what I'm saying? You still gonna love on them, you know what I mean? Like, you might chastise them, you know, you might be upset, but you still gotta love them at the end of the day. And, you know, Reek, he's still our brother, you know what I'm saying? He's still not gonna be our brother just because of a mistake that he made and that he owned up to, you know what I mean? So just as a team and just as us as his teammates, like, we still gonna love on him.
100%.
You know, like I said, I just feel like he matured just by getting in front of the team and saying what we need to say, because that was just real. Because I don't think that most people, maybe a couple weeks ago, he might not have did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, or maybe last year, he might not have done that. So, you know, at the end of the day, I think he's going to learn some mistakes. And even Coach Washington said, you know what I mean, like, you only lost when you don't learn. You know what I mean? And I feel like we're going to learn from it. You know, still a lot of football left to play. You know what I mean? We got 3 losses. We still 4-3. We can still win the second quarter. You know what I'm saying? We can still be 3-1 in the second quarter. So we got to win these quarters. So I just wanted, I feel like we had to touch on that, because obviously that was a big, that was big, you know what I mean? It was a huge game. Like I said, but it's playoff atmosphere, like,
it really
close
was.
games.
And I ain't never been in no playoffs, so I can't say that, but it felt like it. Like,
no, it felt like a playoff game.
It felt like a playoff game.
I'm gonna tell you, when we get to the playoffs this year, you're gonna be like, okay, that was a playoff game for sure.
Yeah.
Even the Houston game earlier in the week, like that was like when playoff teams.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is gonna be a little bit more heightened a little bit in the playoffs, but that's a good taste that you're gonna get in the regular season. So yeah, we're gonna turn the page on that. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna flush it. We're gonna watch film this week. Got Arizona coming up. But yeah, so you talked about your bye week, right? You went back to Allen, Texas.
Yeah.
That's where you went to high school at. So it's crazy because I actually trained in McKinney, Texas.
Okay.
Come out for the draft at MJP. I think it's closed down now. But Allen, Texas. Obviously, Texas in football. I mean, football in Texas is big, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize this until I was, obviously bring you onto the show, but you played with HailMary. Mm-hmm. Which is very coincidence that we actually played him this week. But you played with HailMary in high school. You didn't lose any games in high school, right?
I lost one. So he's a year ahead of me. So I played with him my sophomore, junior year, didn't lose. And then my senior year, we got all the way to the semifinal game and lost.
So that was your only loss?
Yeah, that's my only loss in high
really?
school.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you pretty much had so how was that? Because obviously everybody, I don't say everybody knows, but the talk is that HailMary is the greatest high school football player in Texas history.
No question.
How was that experience like playing with him?
You just knew he was legendary. He was great, bro. He was he just had that it factor.
Yeah,
and being somebody who was also a competitor, I looked at it like he's holding down the offense, let me hold down the defense or whatever. But man, he was doing things where, like I said, I've never seen before. But he also had this aura about him that he was not finna lose, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He's always nobody from where we're from is shocked at what all he's done.
Right.
Him winning the Heisman, him going number one. It's no shock, bro. He's always been a hard worker, always just had that it factor.
Right.
Gifted.
The stadium you played in Allen, Texas, how big was it? Because I remember I say y'all high school stadiums be like college stadiums, bro.
So we was kind of the first to pop it off with the most big expensive stadium. It was $60 million.
God.
Yeah, and on Friday nights, bro. Friday nights is jumping, bro. It'd be 18,000. Including standing. So I think it would hold 16 maybe or something like that. But yeah, bro, Friday nights in Allen, Texas was jumping.
What's the school that was the green and white school? It's
DeSoto.
DeSoto, I got you. I done rolled past their stadium. I remember because when we was at MJP, we had to go to this indoor and we were ride by DeSoto. And I'm looking at is that a high school or a college? Because they got a bowl that goes down or something like that. But they stadium, I never seen Allen, but DeSoto was huge.
Yeah, well, we got a couple, so I don't know. We got South Lake Curl, they're green and white. Prosper's
I think
green
it's
and white.
DeSoto. I think it's DeSoto for sure. It's
DeSoto,
the Eagle or something like that?
Yeah, DeSoto.
The Eagle, yeah.
Those were our rivals, bro. They were nice too. They got a lot of people in the league, and so do we.
That's crazy. And your school was probably, what, 4,000, 5,000 students?
Yeah, it was crazy, bro.
That's
going in the exchanging classes, bro, don't wear no clean J's or nothing. It's getting stepped on.
It was like that?
Yeah,
That's crazy. That sound like a madhouse, bro. That sound like college or something.
Yeah, the pep rallies would be stupid.
Dang. So, obviously, Allen, Texas, crazy, success in high school. You end up going to Ole Miss. First, how many guys out of your, so you said, I know you was on defense. HailMary's out of offense. You was Ole Miss. Do you have any other guys that was went to any big time colleges coming out as well?
Oh, yeah.
That you played with?
Yeah. Easily over 9.
D1s and everything.
D1s,
yeah, that's dope.
Bro, we got 11 in the league.
Really?
From my high school team, but so I ended up going to Ole Miss with one of the left tackles on that team. He was on. His name was Greg Little.
Gotcha.
He got drafted second round to Carolina.
Greg Little, yeah.
But coming out, he was the number 1 rated player, for our class or whatever.
Sheesh.
But we had about 8 or 9 guys coming out to sign in D1.
That's crazy. So what other schools did you have outside of Ole Miss? Was it a bunch of SEC schools? You have any Texas schools that you wanted to go to?
Yeah, so I had a lot. I had my top. I'll tell you my top 5. I remember it was A&M, TCU, Ole Miss, Ohio State, and I'm just gonna throw Auburn, I guess. I can't remember, but yeah, I had a good amount of mix. But the Texas at the time, like Texas Longhorns, they gave me an offer, but they weren't popping yet.
Right.
A&M was in the SEC, but they were like with Summerlin, they were okay. And then TCU was too close to home, but I liked Gary Patterson.
Okay.
He was a defensive-minded coach. But that was like 30 minutes from the crib, so I wasn't trying to do
You
that.
want to get a little further out.
So my real top two was at Ohio State and Ole Miss, bro.
Okay.
And I always wanted to play in the SEC.
Got you.
But Ohio State, like, I really liked that too. But my parents, we made a drive so I could see how far it was.
Right,
and before I got there, I didn't want to go.
And what year was this, Ohio State? I'm trying to think. Well, I mean, what year? What
So I
was your
came out
class?
2016.
2016.
So they had, my host was Von Bell.
Yeah.
And I think Denzel was there, but I remember Von Bell for sure.
Do you remember the DB coach, Kerry Combs?
Yeah. And they had a safeties coach like Ash or something.
Gotcha.
Coach Ash.
So Kerry Combs, after my third year, he ended up coming to the Titans. He came with Mike Vrabel was our head coach. Kerry Combs came to coach us for 2 years in Tennessee.
I do remember him now.
Kerry Combs, that's my guy. I ain't gonna lie, he's like one of my favorite coaches of all time. Most intense, all gray hair.
Yeah.
He gonna be out there screaming like a strength coach as a DB. It was crazy, but he was a cool coach. That's why I was asking. Because I mean, Ohio State was like DBU at. I mean, they got a lot of first round picks too.
Right.
But so you obviously say you want to play SEC, so went to Ole Miss, and so you went to Ole Miss. I read you did 6 years in college. 6 years.
Yeah, man, it was tough.
Couple, maybe we said 2 or 3 season in the injuries.
Yeah, I had 2 season-ending injuries, and my third one, well, the one before. So I had an ACL one in 2018. Then I had the second to last game. I had a meniscus tear, and then 2020 I tore my pec.
Sheesh. So talk about just the adversity that you faced, like dealing with those injuries. Still coming back, because I think that you had an injury, but then you decided to come back for your 6th year. You know what I mean? Like, talk about just that decision process, being like, I'm gonna come back my 6th year versus forget I'm just going to forego, go to the league. Like, what was your thought process like when it came to that?
Man, it was tough. Like you said, doing 6 years, it was tough, bro, because I love this game, and I knew the ultimate goal was to go to the league. But having these injuries, bro, it was God's plan. Like, I had something planned, and I had to go through this, and I learned a lot about myself, to be honest. I learned how much I love this game, because it's going to test you with these up and downs. But, man, the tough decision was in 2020 after I tore my pec. Because I was always getting hit by agents, and I knew, I could make it in the league or whatever.
Be a reality, yeah.
But with these injuries, I knew it was slowing me down. So in 2020, I had to make that decision. It just didn't sit right with me. I did a lot of praying. It didn't sit right with me going into the league, hurt or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to have to rehab and maybe miss a camp or something like that. So, man, just had a lot of prayers. And luckily, man, just through the grace of God, my 2021 season that I came back, my last year was fully healthy. And that was my main thing. I wanted to show them that I could stay healthy for a season. And I knew after that it was going to be a little rough on seeing myself getting drafted or getting invites or whatever, because you know how the league is with injuries. But I just wanted to show I could stay healthy and then, go into a pro day and all that stuff.
That's crazy, because even I'm thinking about my college career. Obviously, I went to a small school, Middle Tennessee, but I had a great college career. I remember my junior year, we didn't go to a bowl game. I think we ended up being bowl eligible, but we didn't get picked for a bowl game. We lost to Aaron Jones at UTEP. We lost that game. And I remember, you lose a game in college, last game, crying and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember getting home the last for a week or so, and I was in my mind. I talked to agents and stuff like that, and I was deciding should I go to the league? And I remember being in my mom's room, just talking to her. I'm just I think I can't go out like that. It wasn't no injury stuff. It was just I just felt like I just couldn't go out not on a high note. And I'm gonna come back from my senior year. When I probably could have went to the league. Would I have got drafted first pick of the third? Probably not. Probably would have got drafted a little, later, because most of the time smaller school guys don't come out early.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I had to go out with a better showing than we did as a team. But like you said, it's just, you know, because college game is a little different. It's like pride, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
when you play the SEC and you playing these other teams, guys that you probably been playing, going up against in high school, whatever, like, it's a pride thing. Because I mean, at least when I was in school, we wasn't playing for, there was no NIL, there was no money playing for it. So it was legit off of school spirit, pride,
same
and
with
just
me.
your guys,
Same
you know what I'm saying? So that was a big thing for me. That's just crazy. So when you was coming out for the draft, right, obviously your 6th year, what was your training process? Well, not your training process. Where'd you train at first, though? Did you train in Texas?
Yeah, I trained in Texas.
So you trained in Texas. Where'd you train at? What facility?
MJP, actually.
Oh, you said MJP too?
So my year was the last year.
The last year,
and
okay.
then they tore it down. But yeah, so I trained back at the crib. And man, it was all thought out. So I had my agent is actually from Dallas, Texas as well. His son played with my brother at Allen. So it's cool how I met him, somebody that knew, saw the vision and knew who I truly am if I got back healthy.
Right.
So you asked how my training was?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the training, we specifically, man, I was confident, honestly. Like, I knew I
was going to test well and everything.
Yeah, I knew I was going to test well, but I knew I probably wouldn't have gotten drafted just off the injuries. But my agent had told me, just off the history with my knee or whatever, that teams were seeing me running a 4.5, 4.6. So I'm laughing like, oh, the ball's in my hand.
Exactly.
Like, let me
all you can do is rise now.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, like pro day, we're gonna shake them up. So MJP, we was just focusing on speed, and then I was with my trainer Michael Hawkins and my trainer Clay Matt back at home, and we was just working on speed stuff and all the drill work, the pro day stuff, and confident in that, and it honestly went well. We woke up some eyes, and
so you didn't get invited to the combine?
Didn't get no invite to the combine.
I would have thought, because I know I didn't get invited to the combine, which is still the craziest mystery that I have in my my career. Honestly, I don't even know how I didn't get invited. But a lot of times when you got those injury histories, you get invited because they want to get you up in Indy,
right?
Do all the medical check stuff.
Yeah, I was actually happy about that too.
Yeah, which is good. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I hear everybody go up there is a terrible experience. So it's like a blessing in disguise a little bit.
Right.
So your agent didn't you thought the whole process, your agent is almost telling you like prepared to not get drafted. Like he wasn't even like.
Yeah, I mean
it was a possible you could sneak in there or like what?
Things changed after my pro day. So,
okay, I got you. What you end up running?
So Atlanta had me at a 4.35.
Okay.
The Jets had me at like a 4.32. Like it was some good numbers.
So he was like mid 4.3s though.
Yeah. So right after that, Atlanta put me on a 30 visit, and then they were talking to me about sneaking in the 6th round. So then that's when we started hearing a little bit of stuff.
Right.
But honestly, man, I wasn't, just because I've heard so many stories and people like not getting drafted. I had already seen guys go undrafted, and I knew that route. So like I had that in the back of my mind. If I ended up getting that call, boy, I was gonna cry and be all happy. But I also knew I possibly was gonna have to get it out the mud. And when I was at Ole Miss, I had seen some guys that had graduated before me, like make it to the league, being special teamers, and I had never seen that route before, but then that gave me motivation too on some like, well, if things don't work out, there is a way you still can make it or whatever. Yeah. So that was that.
Nah, it's dope because, I mean, looking at it now, being a vet in the league, and you've been a vet in the league too, like you realize that, honestly, sometimes going undrafted is better than getting drafted in those late rounds because, number one, you only sign a 3-year contract. You know what I mean? You can get the free agent. I mean, you still be a restricted free agent, but it's a possibility you can get the free agent faster.
Right.
And at the end of the day, if you're anything, in my opinion, later than a 4th round pick, you're fighting to get on the team anyway. If you're 5th, 6th, 7th, undrafted, you pretty much all in the same boat.
I didn't notice that till like my 2nd year in the league. Yeah.
You'll see a 5th round guy get cut out of training camp.
Yep.
Like you still got to make sure you make special teams to make the team.
Right.
You know what I mean? Honestly, you don't really see a 4th round at all, but first 4 picks, you pretty much slotted, you know what I mean? You might not play your own defense, but you're slotted on the team. 5th and beyond is like, teams are taking chances on guys, whether it's measurables or whatever it may be. So, it's all blessing in disguise, you know what I'm saying? But like you said, give you that chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That hunger to be able to go out there and try to prove yourself every single day. And it's like that in the league period, but like you said, being undrafted, I'm sure that gives you a lot of motivation for sure.
Literally every day.
So it's crazy. So then obviously you've had some great success, been in the league now, got a few starts, obviously. That's been cool. So you was number 31 before I got here, right? So I signed here in March, and I remember when I was on my visit signing my contract, I'm talking to T-Mad. T-Mad is our equipment guy, And he's like, you know what I mean? Like, so what number you want? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, I've been 31 my whole career. So like, he said, okay, you know, teammate real quick. He's like, okay, I got it. So we have a guy on the team now that's wears 31, Jaylon Jones. He's a veteran. You know what I mean? He's not a young guy. So give him a call, have a conversation, work something out, and just get back to me or whatever. So yeah, I think he gave me his number. I don't remember how I got your number. He might have gave me your number.
Yeah.
And I remember I was in Florida we was on a little vacation with my family. We was like in a little beach house or whatever. I'm talking to my wife like, what you think I should do? Like, how you think I should hit him up? Should I text him, call him, whatever? So I shot you a text and just kind of introduced like, hey, it's KB. I'm saying we got a chance to talk. Let's talk or whatever. And I remember we had talked about it or whatever. And you told me, you was like, because I pretty much just told you like, bro, like I've been 31.
Yep.
Boom, boom. Like I want to see if I can get the number. And you was like, you said something about your family or something like that. Like, what was it again? Was it your uncle or something like that?
Yeah. So, bro, I wore 24 my sophomore year, but then when I got to really pick my own number, I was 4.
Yeah.
Then when I got to college, I wore 31, and like we kind of tied it in with 3 + 1, whatever.
Yeah.
So that number, I wore it all the way through college, and I was there for 6 years. So yeah, it was like it meant a lot to me and my family.
Yeah.
And it's funny because my story towards it is, me and wifey, bro, we were in some grocery store, and the thing is like we either saw like your name buzzing on We Might Get You or whatever. And I've told you about my in-laws, like they're from Tennessee, big fans of you. Like I said, in the house, bro, like bobblehead of you still, 31 with the red cleats, like you was known, bro. So we see that you might get traded or whatever, and we were just talking. She brought it up. She's like, "How crazy would it be if he came here?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't know what we're gonna do about this number. He was 31." Right. I kid you not, bro. Like 2 days later, you end up like actually signing it. Like I'm low key, like kind of not panicking, but I'm sweating. Like, dang, this is a vet. He Pro Bowl.
Right.
And I respect your game, bro. So, I think you texted me first.
Yeah, I did.
And then we ended up getting on the call, bro, and like we chopped it up a little bit. But you were a cool dude, bro. And like I said, I definitely respect the game, and I was like, man, we're going to make it work. So we ended up finding, and the good thing, too, is 21 was available. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That was my biggest thing. Was
you
like,
still had a good number.
Yeah, I got it. As a DB, you got to have that good number,
Got to have a good number, bro. It's funny because, like you said, I shot the text, and I was like, I ain't want to shoot. I ain't want to ask you to. I was like, bro, just give me a call.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. And I remember you said everything you saying, like, respect your game, boom, boom. We working out a number, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then, like I said, it was a respect thing. Like, I ain't want to just try to say, T-Man, just give me the number. Like, I deserve to have a number. I'm a vet. Boom, boom. It wasn't none of that.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we got that work done. Like I said, I appreciate that because, like I said, I wore it my whole career. Like, I could have chose a different number, but if you would have said no, I'd have just picked a different number. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't going to be no pressure, nothing like that.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you doing that. And it's funny you brought that up because I was going to bring it up too, but like you say, your wife's family, your girl's family, your wife, her school that she went to is the same school that my kids go to in Tennessee, which is a crazy little coincidence.
It is.
So yeah, I remember chopping up with them during training camp and everything. He was very cool.
Yeah.
And you spoke about it earlier in the podcast. You just had your first daughter. You had your first daughter.
Yeah.
You said she's 4 months now?
5 now.
5 months.
5.
Talk about, because we've talked about it when we first got on the team.
Yeah.
When you had the newborn. Talk about that experience of fatherhood, and obviously being in the first early months, like how that process has been for you. Like,
man, overall it's a blessing. Can't even really explain it besides somebody that's a father as well. But man, overall it's a blessing. You learn so much about yourself, and it's already cool, bro. Like, you know, first you got to deal with the sleep stages, and you know that's what we're going through right now. But also too, you seeing the growth, bro.
Yeah.
Like, just the littlest things on like her holding her head now better, and like being aware, using her eyes, and trying to talk now, bro. And it's giving me like a bigger motivation. You know, that's my why now. I actually got a family, and that's the biggest blessing. But also too, like, I've noticed like days, like, you know, if I'm not having the best day or like something, like when I come home, bro, she just brightens me up. So like overall, it's a blessing. Got guys like you and a lot of dudes on the team that are fathers. So like, you know, I've asked you for advice, and man, you told me the biggest thing about not sleeping in the bed, and sometimes the bassinet, and you just give me tips, bro. 100%. Like, and I know, like you said, every kid's different or whatever, but it's just cool to lean on teammates like you and just hear different things you've tried, and maybe we'll try it, and if it don't work, it don't work. But overall, it's been cool though.
It's crazy because I mean, you did it better than me because, like I said, I had a daughter first. You had a daughter first.
Yeah, girl dance.
I messed it up. I didn't say I messed it up, but we had our baby during training camp. I didn't time it up right. You know what I mean? Had a baby during training camp, and so like those first few months is like the sleeping stage where like you're not getting no sleep. Got to get up every 2 or 3 hours to feed. So me and my wife is, you know, obviously the greatest woman in the world, greatest person to me in my life. She was just so gracious that, especially during training camp, like we were literally like we luckily was able to afford a night nurse, but the nights we didn't have a night nurse, she slept in the guest bedroom so I can get some sleep.
I remember you told me.
You know what I mean? Because especially as early in the season, like be able to get some sleep is so huge, and obviously her having to wake up every couple hours. She slept in the guest room, you know what I'm saying? She was just gracious to do that because, like I said, we had a sleep number bed.
Yeah.
So she wanted me to get some rest, so that was gracious of her. But yeah, I mean, like you said, it's the biggest blessing in the world, like just to have a purpose to, you know what I'm saying? Like it's literally like you outside your body.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I still cannot explain it, but you hitting it perfect. Like I look at her and I'm like, I really brought, like me and wifey brought this to the world. Like
it's crazy, bro.
It's different, bro. But I love it. I've learned so much about myself already, and like just seeing the growth and whatever, it's helping me. But also like, it's helping us come closer as a family, and like
100%.
just seeing that is like a big blessing.
It definitely puts a mirror right in front of you, cause like, you talk about like patience, and like it really teaches you, like show you who you are and what you need to work on, like 100%, bro. Wait till you start having multiple kids. You start, it's like a magnifying glass. But tell me one thing that you, or that you and your wife, that before going into it, that you didn't expect as far as like something different, as far as, you know, having your daughter. I would say for me, now that I got multiple kids, is knowing that like every child is different, right?
Yeah.
And that the way you're raising one child may be different for the next one.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? But also for me, and I would say it's the biggest thing, and I'm gonna have you answer next. And I speak for me personally. I know I have some people that I know for a fact has been through this, but you do realize that I don't care how many books you read, right? Or like how many videos you watch on social media or YouTube, like nobody really know what they doing.
Man.
You know what I mean? Like we really don't. Like you're trying to do what's best or what you think is best from your heart, you know what I mean? But we all just kind of winging it in a way, you know what I mean? Like, so I remember growing up, like, I come from a big family. My mom has 7 children, and she raised the majority of us, like, on her own, majority of our time. And as you get older, especially in your teenage years, your adolescence years, like, you be questioning everything, like, why are we doing this, or why are we living like this, or boom, boom. And like, I remember growing up, like, I had some issues with my mom, especially when I was in high school. You know, you're getting older, you doing your own thing. I'm mad my mom calling me because I got to go home and because I ain't mopped the floor when I was doing it. I'm hanging out with my friends, I'm already gone, but I ain't finished cleaning up, so she calling me. And like little stuff like that was just like, and I just have issues with my mom, I was beefing my mom about other stuff, petty stuff. But now that I'm older, right, and like I got kids, and I'll see how hard it is to raise children, and I look back at it and be like, man, you did all that? Like I got 3. Even when I had 1 or 2, I realized this, but it's like, you did that with 7 kids?
Yeah.
And you still kept a roof over our heads, and we wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like I was like, yo, like that's crazy. Cause like I said, I understand that now that she didn't have the best example growing up as well.
Right.
But look at what she's done. All her kids is healthy, doing their thing. That's like, she deserves the trophy for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like for me, that was the biggest thing I learned having my kids is like, no matter how many books you read, there's always things that we could do better or differently than our parents did or whatever, but it's like, we're all just like figuring it out, you know what I mean? Like, you're just trying to go from like obviously with your brain and your heart and just trying to do the best you can for your kids. So like, what is something that you learned? Obviously you're still young in the process, but for you, something that you didn't expect going into it, that before you had the kids, like, I think it's gonna be like this, but now you have a daughter, like what's something that it don't have to be as deep as what I said, but
well, real quick, it's good to hear for you to say that, because like I feel like me and wifey, we're at that stage kind of right now where we're realizing like we don't got to go by the book or what our parents are saying. Like we're realizing they winged it, we're winging it. You know what I'm saying? They tell us that too, but it's funny you say that because like you start realizing like not everybody, you don't know exactly what to do for the child, but like you do the best you can.
Right.
For me, I would say right now, and we're adjusting to this. I don't know if this answers the question exactly, but like we were told like enjoy y'all's time together before she comes. But like now like it's really like we're really seeing it, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's like like we're becoming more aware of it now where we're and we're blessed, bro, because like my mother-in-law comes in town a lot. My mom comes in town a lot. So like we're blessed to have both grandparents on both sides. But yeah, me and wife, we've noticed that, bro. It's like I come home from practice because, you know, they're watching them all day.
Yeah.
I come home from practice and, you know, I spend a little time with her, but I'm with my daughter now so she can, you know, shower and get some things done. So I think that's our biggest thing that I noticed that's like majorly different. But other than that, I think you hit the other one right on the nail.
Nah, that's real, bro, because listen, like I remember, so it's funny, I got married in 2018 and we got pregnant our first off season, right? And so like, we didn't even really get the, like, me and my girl been together for a long time. We was living together when we first got in the league, so we did a little bit of traveling and stuff like that. But as far as just being as a married couple, we didn't really have a full off season of like not having kids, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, but now it's real because like before kids, coming home, shoot, I may jump on the game, you know what I'm saying? I could be on the game for a while, my wife in there cooking. We can watch a TV show together, just easy, you know what I'm saying?
Cut down, boy.
You have kids, so it's funny because everything's been adjustment. I remember when I first had my daughter, I would still come home, jump on the game. And I remember my wife would be in the man cave with us with my baby and almost giving me like a side, I feel it.
Yeah.
I'm on the TV, but I feel it like, I need to get off the game. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm wilding, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you had to realize like, like my wife has been home all day with our daughter and our kids, our 3 kids now. She hasn't been able to speak to an adult yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All day. You know what I'm saying? Like the first time speaking to adults when I come home.
Right.
You know what I mean? So being able to talk to an adult, that's real. Like you got to give that time to your family. Like I had my chaplain in Tennessee. He used to tell me something that like when you go home, take that ride home, get your mind off of whatever you need to, whether if it was work, stuff like that. But when you step in that door, serve. You know what I'm saying? Like serve your kids, serve your wife. And get that mind. Whatever you got to do, if you got to take the long drive home, whatever you need to do. Yeah. And it's a process. It was always a process, and I'm still getting better at it now. But I think that was the biggest thing that I've been learning, you know, over the years.
Yeah, you mentioned that game, boy. Like first, the beginning stage, it was cool. I was able to hold baby girl, and like she fall asleep quick in my arms. She getting older now. Yeah. She growing. She wanting to. She don't like being in one spot for too long, so like that game stuff kind of be dead right now. So
I'm telling you, bro.
Like you said, like I come home and try to serve, like you said, and because what you said, I didn't realize. I am realizing it's like you said, they don't get time to talk to no adults, bro. Like they taking care of the child all day while we working.
Talking to kids, bro. You're having kid conversations, like and as soon as you get home, you may have had a long day, you tired, you know what I'm saying, but you got to realize as the man of the house, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to make that sacrifice. Even if you are tired, you want to go upstairs and jump on the game or even just relax. Right. Take some time off. Like, like you got to go in and serve because that's our role. 100%. As men in the crib. So, bro, this is a great conversation. I appreciate you coming on. Obviously, we have a huge game this week, Arizona, going against your former teammate. It's going to be cool to see. So, yeah, man. Jaylon Jones has been intercepted. I appreciate you guys watching the show, man. So stay tuned for next week's episode.
Thanks for watching Intercepted. Make sure to stay glued to the recap for new episodes all season here on YouTube.